Right. So we'll have a look at the questions 1 and 2, right, which are fairly not such complicated questions, right? It's just a matter of you getting into getting used to using this import thing for importing for getting your input from the user, right? So the first question is just ask for an integer and then displays that integer, right? So first and foremost, we have to include the header file import java.utility.scanner, right? So here we're just getting the utility scanner in for our program, right? Then it's just a matter of programming as usual with the inclusion of the input line, and then to the declaration of the variable, which is the input type variable, right? The rest are fairly similar to all the programs that we've done thus far, which is to say that we will have these outputs. Of course, one is to prompt the user, the other one is to show that we did our program correctly, right? So we have the scanner input. This is the variable, declaration of the variable, right? And we initiate it as new scanner, right? And then we have an input procedure here. So this is the line where the input by the user will be committed to the variable called number. Then we just display it, right? Let's see what happens if we run something like this, right? So we'll just have we'll just have enter an integer, right? And then we'll just have it as being called number, right? So that is our number, right? And then we'll just output that. Just yes.
I just want to know. So what is the function of Java?
What is the there are many functions, meaning to say that programming languages.
No,
Sorry?
Actually, it's known as forward. I don't know why I'm learning this. I want to know what's going on.
Generally you can learn any kind of programming language to achieve things. It's just that certain things are easier with a certain programming language, right? So once you know a programming language, it is generally easier to learn another one and another one and another one.
When can what types of situation can I use Java programming?
What types of situation? In everyday life, it's hard to say. Meaning, in everyday life, it's hard to say when can you use Java programming. It's basically what is Java used for. Actually, I'm not well versed with that as well. So we'll just Google that, yeah. So use of Java programming.
Where can I use it?
Right. So Java is a widely used programming language as well as designed for use in the distributed environment of the internet. Right. Most popular programming language for Android smartphone applications, and it's also among the most favored for the development of edge devices and the Internet of Things. So people use Java a lot for internet app.
Android?
Yeah,
I
Android.
never
Yeah,
see
Android.
Of programming when I use smartphone.
Yeah, because it's in the background, you don't see it.
So this one is basically they already fix it that language
Basically what we have in our smartphone is a lot of dedicated hardworking people working on the programs so that we can enjoy the programs that we have on our smartphone. So we don't really see the coding behind it. Let's try and see sample Java code. Yeah, sample Java code for Android app. Right, so Android developers. Right, so app shortcuts, autofill, emoji compact. Right, so you did it. Prerequisite Android getting started. Oh, it's not really showing us that. Shortcuts feature, references and intent. Oh, okay, so here it is. App shortcuts. Read, build Gradle, settings, Gradle. Source main. Okay, so this is the main coding part, right? So as you can see here, this is the main for this particular program, and this is how long the program can be in order to create something fairly simple, which is the app shortcut.
Why do we have to run Java programming for maintaining apps and
Maintaining apps.
internet or something?
Yeah, Internet of Things and Android apps. Basically, if you want to go into that, you can. And basically, it's like, what do I say? It's like opening up a possibility for you. So if you learn Java, you open up a possibility of maybe one day programming for an Android app, that kind of thing. It's like, for example, why would you learn English, or why would you learn maths, for example? It's because once you do, then you open up a possibility for yourself. For example, in terms of English, you open up a possibility of, let's say, going to an English-speaking country or communicating with more people. And so, then you open up possibilities for yourself. Same goes for Java. So actually, same goes for a lot of things that we learn. So when you learn Java, for example, you open up the possibility of programming for an Android app or Internet of Things, that kind of thing. Although later you might, once you're done with this module, you might figure out, hey, you know what, this is not for me, and that is fine. But maybe you want to go through, the basics and etc. and see if your program runs. And sometimes our excitement builds from that. It's like, I don't know, if we play sports or something. Let's say I like to play football. I want to play like, let's say, Kylian Mbappe or Cristiano Ronaldo or something, which is a high-level player. The first thing that I would have to do is, for example, learn to kick the ball, learn to trap the ball, maybe some dribbling, how to run, when to run, that kind of thing. So these are all simple steps, little by little, that if you look at it, it's very boring and it's very troublesome, because, why do I have to keep doing this every day, that kind of thing. But if and when I'm well versed, when I'm an expert in doing these things, then I can build on that. I can learn more things and be better at more things. Then I get closer to becoming a good footballer, for example. Then I open up the possibility of, let's say, signing a professional contract or something like that. But I may as well, it might as well become the case where I learn a few basic things, I become good at it, and I feel, okay, this is enough for me. This is enough for me to be able to enjoy football, and I don't want a professional contract, for example. So the same goes here. For example, you learn a little bit of programming, and you might become pretty good at it. You might get maybe A or something, or B, or credit or something in this course. And you might later decide that, hey, you know what, I want to do this professionally. I want to do programming. But you might not. But having learned it, you open up a possibility for yourself to actually be it. Actually be an Android app programmer or something like that.